your own business design, and then you see how you want to protect your employees, your customers, and whoever lah. Okay. Follow CMCO is better because EMCO got nothing to do. EMCO your business all closed, right? So no need to write anything. So CMCO would be more appropriate. How many points? You decide yourself lah. Okay. Based on the word limit, how long do you think you want to write? Then you decide yourself lah. Okay. So as long as it covers all the points, all the areas of your business. Okay, let's say you are a furniture shop, right? Furniture shop, you got a few processes. Supplies coming in, your customers coming in, you got products coming in, products going out. You got payment, you got customer want to try the furniture. So yeah, because like furniture shop got a lot of touching all okay, very dangerous. Customer want to sleep want to sit want to feel this feel that okay. So how are you going to have your own SOP to minimize the virus transmission? Okay, so maybe you want to sanitize every hour, you want to make sure all your customers wear masks, sanitize their hand properly first before they touch anything, and so on. Okay. Anyone else? Then we do tutorial. Okay. Who is doing tutorial question? What?
So I will be presenting question 1.
Okay.
So the first question is, a company is considering using CPM to plan a new project with the following activities and their precedence relationship. You are to draw an AOA diagram to demonstrate the answer. So firstly, we need to draw the diagram. So from the table, we can see activity ABC have no immediate predecessors. So ABC can direct link out. Then we look at E first because E have activities A before E. So after activity A, we link to another the activity line is E. Then the activity D is before after A and B. So they will have a dummy activities to combine A and B, then link out D. Then for activity F is also B and A and B. So the after activity A, dummy activity, and activity B will link out another activity line which is F. Then after activity G is after ABC. So we link out one more dummy activities from AB, then we link together with C, then we come out with a activity G activity line. Then for activity H is after D and E. So we combine D and E, the line, then we link out one is H, activity H. Then activity I is after F and G. G. So we link together F and G and come up with an activity line I. So this diagram can understand. Then the first question is how many possible paths are there in the network? So there will be total of 8 possible paths in the network. The first one is AEH, the second is ADH, the third is AFI, the fourth is AGI, the fifth is BDH, and the sixth is BFI. Then the seventh is BGI, and the last is CGI. So there will be total 8 possible paths in the network. Then for B is how many paths is activities A as a part of the project. So there will be a total of four paths that is activity A as a part of the project, which is AEH, ADH, AFI, and AGI.
Okay. Something missing in your diagram. You know what's missing?
Numbers.
Correct. Numbers very important. Okay, for AOA. So without numbers, the diagram look very empty. Okay, so now the first time I'm looking at it, I don't know which one to look at first. Okay, so do I look from the top to the bottom or from the left to the right? I don't know. Okay, so numbers will help us to know where's the start and where's the end. We don't write start, we write number 1. Okay, so for AOA, we don't need to start, we just write number 1 and then follow lah 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The last one will be 7. And then use dotted lines instead of writing dummy activity. You know, your slide will show you dotted lines. So it's simpler. Question 1, there will be a total of 8 possible paths in a network. We need to add in the dummy line also. So for example, ADH, there is a dummy here. So you write in A dummy, DH, then AFI also the same thing. A dummy. So AGI got 2 dummy, then you write in 2 dummy. Okay, so that's how it works. It's clearer. So there is a complete link. Okay, like that, correct. Okay, everybody need to understand how to draw AOA because AOA is not in the assignment. Means exam can come up. Okay, so you need to understand how to draw AOA lah. Just make sure that your activity is on the arrow. Cannot have 2 arrows having the same activity. Cannot have empty arrow. Okay, whenever you feel like, oh, I need to have empty arrow, then it's time to bring out the dummy activity. Okay, so dummy activity is just an activity to show you precedence, okay, the relationship. Okay, number 2.
So I will be also presenting question 2. Question 2 is a team of auditors are assigned to a small financial audit project with a list. So this is the table. Then the required is you are to construct a CPM network using AOM, activity on mode, approach with the computation of forward and backward paths and identify the critical path of this project. So when we need to draw the circle, then we see the activities. The first is activity A, so we direct link start to activity A. Then B is linked from A, C is linked from B, and D and E is linked from C, to also both of C. So we link to D and E, and the F is linked from D and E, so we combine D and E to F, and the G is linked from F. Then from the diagram, the yellow color is earlier start, and the blue is latest. So we need to the question asks us to compute the forward and backward paths. So from the table, we can get the activity duration. So we write the duration under the circle at the gray area there, 1, 4, 4, 5, 3, 4, 2. Then we compute from the yellow color the start first. So the first one is 0 from A, 0, then the duration is 1, so 0 plus 1 equal to 1. Then B is 1 plus 4 equal to 5. Then C is 5 plus 4 equal to 9. And we move to D. D is 9 plus 5 equal to 14. And E is 9 plus 3 equal to 12. So when we combine to F, we take the highest, so which is 14. So we use 14 plus 4 equal to 18. And the last is 18 plus 2 equal to 20. Then for the backward, we is using the last activities to count forward. So it's 20 minus 2 equal to 18 from G. Then 18 minus 4 equal to 14. So 14 bring to the D and E. 14 for D is 14 minus 5 equal to 9. E is 14 minus 3 equal to 11. Then from backward, we is taking the lesser one. So we take 9. So 9 minus 4 equal to 5. 5 minus 4 equal to 1. And 1 minus 1 equal to 0. Then we back to start. So from the E, we can see that there are a slack of 2 weeks duration. So this is not a critical path. So the critical path is A to B to C, then D, F, G. Yeah, that's all.
Okay. Ken. Something missing again. You got start. You need to finish also. Okay. So we want one more circle to show finish or end. Okay. So start and end.
Okay.
Some of the AON diagrams is not so beautiful. Got multiple paths. So if we have multiple paths, then it's like hanging there. So the diagram is not complete. So to show that the project has been completed, we got end. Okay, got start and then got end. Now,
Okay.
another thing is that show the critical path. Okay, so in your assignment, right, you also need to show your critical path. How to show? You must write like that, correct? But in the diagram, okay, I also need you all to show. You can, for critical activities, you can use different color circle, or you can change the arrow to another color. For example, from A to B, B to C, C to D, D to F, D to G, the arrow is red color, let's say. Okay, so you indicate that all the other arrows are black, but only the arrows that are red color is the critical path. Okay, so in the diagram, also people can see where is your critical path. Okay, so either circle change color or arrow change color. I think arrow change color will be easier and
Easier.
clearer.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Later I will amend.
Yeah, now here no need the assignment. Okay, so here is okay. And
Okay.
in your assignment, the bubble, the circle, no need so many color, just standard. So it will be clearer when you have your critical path. Then
Okay.
must be circle. Okay, I see some groups do square one because square easier to draw. Okay, which is wrong. So remember to make sure you draw a circle. Okay, number 3.
Okay.
So number 3 is the question. A manufacturing company is planning to use a PRT to set up a project for a new production line. For the project, they have established the following activities: precedence, relationship, and the time estimated in time. So, Sang-Yuen, go to the question. Yeah. So the question A, what is the expectation duration for activity B? So for this question, we use the estimated time formula, which is T equal to A plus 4M plus B divided by 6. So A is the optimistic time, but they are second go to upper low. A is optimistic time, but their optimistic is labeled by TO. So we change it to TO. And the pessimistic is M, but they label in TP, and we also change. And the most likely is TM. The B is the most likely one. So we see the table, the B, yeah, the TO is 6, and the M is 9, and the B is 7. And then we use the 6 plus 4, 4 times 9, what?
4 times 7.
4 times 7 plus 9 and divided by 6. Then we get the answer, which is 7.17 days.
Okay.
Then come to question B, what's the variance of activities? And the variance formula is below. V equal to TP minus TO divided by 6 and uh, square and square, and then equal to 2.78 days. And this one original formula is B minus A divided by 6 and square. And
We do this one first. Now, okay, so these two A and B is we call it PERT lah. So we want to find the expected duration. Okay, we got optimistic time, most likely time, and pessimistic time. So yeah, most likely, of course, we want to give more weight lah because it is most likely mah. Okay, but sometimes things happen, so it may be you have a worst case scenario. Okay, so we have TP, pessimistic time, and sometimes things go very well. Okay, you know, when you drive to work, got no traffic light, everything green color, very optimistic, something like that. So we have the optimistic time. Everything go your way, then everything is smooth, then you'll finish faster. Okay, so we give one TO, 4 TM, and 1 TP. Okay, so add up you get 6, so you divide by 6, then we get 7.17. Okay, and then next is to find variance. Also the same thing, we got the formula here already, and then 2.78 days is your variance. Okay, so just remember the formula. Exam very long never come out already, but got come out before. Okay, so you all take note. Okay, C.
So C is want to calculate how many paths in their network. So to calculate this one, we need to draw. And yeah, starting path got 2, which is A and B. They got no intermediate predecessor. So we got 2 A and B, which is starting, and then D is linked to A, and we bring the 10 time plus the 15, and we get the 25. And E is also connected to B. The B, the most likely time spent on B is 7, and we bring the 7 to C, and the 7 plus 3 then is equal to 10, and then to get E, the 25, we bring the answer 10 plus 15, 25, and 25 plus the 7. The 7 is the days spent on E, and we get the answer 32. So we bring the look at the F. So we bring the 10 from C and times the 9, the time spent on the F, and we get the 19. And here we take the highest one, bring to the hash, and plus the time spent on hash, we get the 47. Okay, then but at the D, they got one more activity, which is G. and we bring the answer of D to G, we get we plus the 7 and get the 32. So here we can calculate that they got uh, 3 critical paths. First one is A and D, then comes to G. The second one is A, D, E, and H. So the last one is B, C, F, H. So got 3 paths.
Okay. D.
So D is the earliest finish. So to calculate earliest finish, we need to calculate backward.
Yeah, we just see the diagram. Okay, we have earliest finish over here. Okay,
Yeah, which is
start.
32
Earliest
days.
finish is 32. Yes. Okay, can.
Then the activities of C, this one need to calculate backward. So calculate backward, we start from the N. N is second. We need to calculate backward. So to calculate backward, we take the latest, the biggest one. Look at the H. So the biggest is bring down the 47 and minus by 15, we get a 32. And 32 bring to the E, and we minus 7, we get 25. And then bring to D, the E, 25 bring to D, and we get a 15. Minus 15, and we get a 10. And then 10 bring to A, minus 10, and get a 0. And for the H, you also take the number calculated by the H. Then 32 minus 9, then we get 23. And bring the 23 to E, to the C. Bring the 23 to C, then we get we minus 3, we get 20. And we bring the 20 to B, we minus 7, get 13. But for the activity G, it is not linked to the hash. But so we use, instead of the earliest finish time and minus 7, and we get a 35. Then we bring the, so for the G, we need to look at the smallest one. Both of G and E is the smallest. The smallest is 35, so it is no effect. So the critical path is, the slack time is 0. So we look at the earliest finish and the earliest end. Okay. We look at the earliest finish and latest finish, then we minus by the earliest finish and latest finish, then we get the slack time, which is 0 at the A1. D also calculate like this. Then the A, D, E, and H are the slacks are the 0, so they are the critical path.
This one, the arrow like thicker, is it critical?
This one, the slack also 0, but from the G to the N, they still have the 15 day to use. So this one is not critical.
Okay. So this arrow should be the normal arrow, not the thick arrow. Okay. So To be a critical path, you need to have no slack time and you need to be the longest path. Okay, so G is not. Okay. Okay, everything's correct except E. Question E. Okay, what is the slack in days for activity C? It's not correct because when we do okay, in the exam, right, when PRT comes up, okay, when the question give you this thing, ask you to calculate expected duration, you are expected to calculate expected duration for all the activities and then use that to draw your network. Okay, so just now activity B, we calculated expected duration is 7.17. Okay, so all these activities, right, you need to use the expected duration to put inside a network. Okay, so for example, activity B here is 7.17, and then for the following activities also the same. Expected. Actually, all also the same, except activity B and activity G. Wait, activity G. Okay, activity G up here is also 7.17. Okay, the rest, after you calculate expected duration, is the same. Okay, so we can add one column at the side. This is called expected duration. The rest will be the same as your most likely. E is 7. Why not? Okay. So if the question gives you PRT, you need to use this as your new duration to calculate, to draw your diagram. Okay, so because the numbers here are different, so when you calculate this, what is the slack in days for activity C, then it's wrong. Okay, because got a bit of decimal here and there. Okay, but other than that, everything else is correct lah. Okay, so yeah, just pay attention to that, but it's okay lah, no need to redo unless you're really free, got nothing to do, then you want to redo, then go ahead. Okay, so again, everybody know how to do AOA and AON. Okay, AON is in your assignment, right? So you need to know how to calculate forward pass, backward pass, all these things. Okay, and also PERT. Okay, so got 3 things in this chapter and got 1 more later. Here. Okay, the 4th one you need to know is how to do project crashing. Okay, question 4, who's doing?
So question 4, a construction company wants to construct a warehouse by using critical path method CPM. The activities are as shown below in the table, where the duration are indicated in week, cost in ringgit Malaysia, precedence relationships, and the cost to accelerate the activities. So based on this diagram, the table, we need to construct the activity on node AON. So so the duration we will using the present duration to put inside to the AON. So from the AON, the activity A and B is start simultaneously, and C and D is followed by C and D respectively. Then the activity E will be waiting for the C and D to finish only begin activity E. Then it will be followed by activity F, and from the activity F, it will be divert to activity G and H. And the last one will be the activity I need to wait for the activity G or H to finish only can begin the activity. So by looking at the yellow part, right, the starting period, not the starting, yeah, the period, the first period, the earliest one, earliest duration, we need to notice about the activity E. The earliest time to start from activity E, we need to take from based on the activity C and D. Take the earliest date to finish. So it's the biggest numbers lah. So we take the 11 first instead of the 7, the week 7. So and also from the activity I, we need to base on activity G and H, the whichever is the later one of the earliest date to finish, then we take the one. So it's 23 lah. We take instead of 22. So going backward, the backward process, so backward flow, so we also need to notice about the activity F. So from the activity F, we need to take based on activity G and H, whichever has the earliest date to finish, a latest date to start. So the latest, no, not the latest one. So we just take the earliest one. So we take 18 instead of 19 for the activity F. And yeah, I think that's it from the diagram. So based on the diagram, we can conclude that the critical path is B, D, E, F, H, I, which is the slack. There's no slack time on those activities. So what is the question asking? What is the duration in weeks for this whole project? So the entire project, we need to base on what is the latest date to finish. So looking for the diagram, activity I, the latest, we look at the right bottom, the corner, the latest time to finish is 27. So the duration for the whole project is 27 weeks to complete. So the next question is, what is the earliest finish time for activity C? So based on the AON, the latest time for activity C will be the week 7 earliest time. Look at the top right corner. So is that yellow 7 is indicate the earliest finish time lah. So the next question is, what activities should be crashed first in order to accelerate the the project? So this one, we need to calculate the crash cost per week. So the crash cost per week we can calculate by taking accelerated cost minus present cost divided by present duration minus accelerated duration. So from the crash cost per week, we need to just look on the critical path activities. So B, D, E, and F, H, and I. From this 6 activity, we need to compare which one is the minimum crash cost per week, so that we can shorten the duration for the project. So after calculating out for example, we take the activity B. So the accelerated cost 4,150 minus 4,000, you get 150 and divided by 2. the duration, you can take the present duration minus accelerated duration, which is you will final you will get the 75 ringgit for the crash cost. So the activity should be crash will be activity B.
Okay, so B should be crash first.
Yeah,
Which is second?
which is second. We will based on the second next minimum cost. So based on this table, the next one will be activity D.
What about G?
G. Oh, that one isn't that it's not a critical path.
Mm.
So yeah,
So the next one is donkey, and
Donkey.
then
H.
okay, can.
So the last
Still got
part from me is
this one no
explain.
need.
No
Cash
need.
is here. Yeah.
Okay. So
Alright.
that's it from me.
Okay, thanks. Okay, number 4. This is the 4th thing you need to learn from this chapter's tutorial. Okay, how to do project crashing. So project crashing got a lot of reasons, right? Can be, okay, let's say got COVID lockdown and then got delay. So when we come back, we need to accelerate the project. We need to do faster to meet the deadline. So yeah, so when you want to accelerate a project, you need to pay more, okay? You need to buy more equipment, you need to hire more people, hire more part-time, you need to pay OT, and so on, okay? So whenever you want to accelerate projects, there's a certain cost you have to pay. But there are some things you cannot accelerate one. Some things is slow means it's slow. You cannot say you want fast and fast, okay? So for example, you see A, maximum you can crash is 1 week, okay, from 3 to 2. You got money also cannot. Right, and then some activities like activity donkey, 6 to 4, so you can crash 2 weeks. So yeah, you need to see carefully lah. Okay, so the formula makes sense. The formula, you compare the duration that you can crash and the money you spend. Okay, so you see which one is the cheapest lah. Okay, yeah, we look at the new diagram. Got a red color line one. Okay, so in your assignment, this is something you want to do lah. You want to make sure that you highlight your critical path using another color. And then you also want to have the last circle N. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so the same lah. Duration 27 weeks. Earliest finish is 7. Which one should be crash first? Activity B, because it has the lowest crash cost per week, which is 75. Okay, so remember only activities on the critical path B, D, E, F, H, I can be crash. The rest cannot crash. Okay, sometimes exam asks you trick question. Okay, they give you like G, very cheap, but cannot. Okay, because non-critical activities do not affect the duration of the project. Okay, so even if you are very fast, doesn't matter. You are not on the critical path. You will not shorten the project duration. Okay, so it's just wasting money. Okay, so we only can crash activities on the critical path. Okay, question 5, no need, because last week we already did the exact same question. Done chat. Okay, let's go on to question 5.
Hi sir, I'm going to present question 5. Explain 4 benefits of using PERT and CPM tools in managing projects. So the first benefit will be PERTs and CPM tools are especially useful when it comes to scheduling and controlling large projects because it breaks down into many different stages of activities accordingly in order to calculate the expected completion of time easily. And second, PERT and CPM tools are easy to conduct and calculate as it is a straightforward concept instead of mathematically complex. Third, PERT and CPM tools give a clear vision of graphical networks, which helps to highlight the relationship among activities. By that, project managers will be acknowledged in depth upon the activity flow of the project. Then the last benefit will be critical path and slack time provided by the PERT and CPM tools is able to help pinpoint activities that need to be focused on, as those stages of activities do not have any spare time for delay. And that's all for question 5.
Okay, so for PRT and CPM, most of the benefits are the same. Okay, so we don't need to split the benefits, we can use together. Okay, so before PRT and CPM, last week we did Gantt chart. So Gantt chart is the easiest one, easiest tool to manage projects. But the Gantt chart got a lot of disadvantage because it's too simple, cannot do a lot of things. Okay, so one step deeper, okay, one step more complex is your PRT and CPM, okay, which can help you to do all these things. Okay, can do more complex projects, you can account for more stuff compared to the Gantt chart. Okay, can know critical path, slack time, all these things. Okay, so you can write down all the benefits together. Okay, Ken, let's go on to number 6.
Slide will be present number 6. A startup company is planning to use a CPM network to turn a promising new technology into a product. They have established a project. Host manager develop these activities, precedence, relationships, and activity duration in days for the effort. So from the table, I draw up the diagram like below. So insert the A and B and C, and the D is linked to the A, and E is linked to the B, and C is linked to F, and DEF is linked to G and H, and G is linked to I, H is linked to J, and I is linked to M and K, J is linked to the L, and K also linked to the L, and the M and L is linked to N. So we calculate so for the question A, how many paths are in the network? There is 9 paths. So I list all the paths in this table and the duration of days. Then
B.
For the B, what is the earliest finish time for activity H? So we can see on the diagram, for the H, the earliest finish is 12. So the answer is 12. Then for the C, what is the slack in days for activity K? Slack, how to calculate the slack is use LS minus ES. So I use the 20 minus 20 equals to 0. Then D is what is the critical path is B to E to G to I to K to L, because the duration of days is the longest one.
Okay.
And E, what is the duration of the critical path in days? The duration of the critical path is 23 days.
Okay. Correct lah. Okay, how many paths are there? 9 paths. Okay, list down the paths. And then earliest finish for H. Let's see H. Earliest finish is 12. Okay, correct. What is the slack? LS minus ES or LF minus EF is 0. Okay, and then correct, critical path B, J, K, L. Duration 23 days. Okay, finish. Okay, thanks. Yeah, okay, so this chapter, everyone should be okay, I hope. If you're not okay, later let me know. AOA, AON, project crashing, and PERT. Okay, the 4 things you need to learn how to do. Okay. If everything okay, we move on to the next chapter. Okay. Okay. Tutorial 6.
Hello, so I'm presenting tutorial 6, sir. The first
Okay.
question. Discuss the main differences between qualitative and quantitative forecasting models. Qualitative techniques are the ones which apply knowledge of the business, market, product, and customer to make a judgment call on the forecast. There are many qualitative techniques used in forecasting. These techniques are primarily based on opinion, like the executive opinion, Delphi method, self-force composite, and consumer market survey. Next one is quantitative techniques. It's a statistical technique to make prediction about the future, which uses numerical measures and prior effects to predict future events. These techniques are based on models of mathematics and in nature are mostly objective. They are highly dependent on mathematical calculations. The second question.
Hey, wait. Okay, first question, quali and quanti, very simple. Quantitative is when we have historical data, okay, something we can calculate. Then we will use the past data to project the future, okay? So we use the past to forecast the future, okay? Can calculate one because we have data. Qualitative is when we don't have data, okay? So whenever we have, mostly, whenever we have data, we will use the data. When we don't have, no choice, then we will use judgment, okay? Opinions and judgment from experts. Okay, what do you think is the price of Bitcoin, okay, for the next 30 years? Okay, because this thing is still new, right? Sort of. So we need the experts' opinions to project. Okay, because got data but not enough data. Okay, so got quali and got quanti. Ken, number 2.
Second question. Explain the different types of forecasting time horizons. What it is used for. There is 3. So the first one is short range forecast. It is typically less than 3 months but has a time span of up to 1 year. It is used in planning, purchasing for job schedules, job assignments, work for workforce levels, product levels. Short range forecasts provide operation managers with the information to make important decisions such as how many inventory of a particular product should be carried next month and how many maintenance workers should be scheduled to work next week. Next one is medium range forecast. It is typically 3 months to 1 year but has a time span from 1 to 3 years. It is used for sales planning, production planning, cash budgeting, and so on. Third one is long range forecast. This has a time span of 3 or more years. It is used for designing and installing new plants, facility location, capital expenditures, research and development. Long range forecasts provide operations managers with information to make important decisions like selecting a product design. The final design is dependent on expected sales volume. If the demand is high, the design should be such that the product can be mass produced to ensure low cost manufacture.
Okay. So time horizons, right? The time is not so important. Okay, we just want to know the range. We just want to know the categories. Okay, because you see, 3 months to 1 year. This one is 3 months to 3 years. Overlap one. Okay, so if it's 11 months, then it's short or medium, I don't know. Okay, because it's memang like that lah. Okay, the time is not important. We just want to know which category it belongs to. Okay, so for short range, these are things that we can see. Okay, it's very near to us, we can see. Okay, for example, job schedule. Okay, copy answer must copy the right one. Okay, no simply copy. Purchasing for job schedule means what? Okay, job schedules is something we can see, right? The manager plans who do what job. It's in the very near future. Okay, so these are things that production level, workforce level, we can almost foresee is in the next few weeks. Okay, so this one are under short range forecast. Okay, so generally these things are less than 3 months lah. Takkan the next 6 months you want to plan who work in which center? No, right? Okay, so generally less than 3 months. Okay, it's the weeks. Okay, but sometimes some companies, their production very stable one. The whole year produce the exact same thing, like Hapseng biscuit. Okay, very stable one. So these type of things, they can plan for a longer time span. Okay, so but this one we call short range lah, because these are the things that we can foresee very near to us. On the other hand, we have long range forecasts. Okay, these are things that we cannot see in the future. Okay, very far away, such as R&D, new product development, buy new factory, renovate new factory. Okay, these are things that will have a lot of changes in the future. So it's long range. Okay. Everything in between, medium. Okay, so short you know, long also you know. Everything you don't know, I'm not sure one is in the middle lah. Okay, in the middle one is focused on a lot of planning this, planning that. It's not that near. That is, you are very confident to plan, and it's not that far that there are a lot of uncertainties. Okay, so these are the things that is around 3 months to 3 years. Okay, it's in between. Okay, next 3.
Okay, the third question, discuss the different types of forecast in planning future operations. The first one is economic forecasting. Is the process of attempting to predict the future condition of the economy using a combination of widely followed indicators. Government officials and business managers use economic forecasts to determine fiscal and monetary policies and plan future operating activities respectively. Next one is technology forecasting. It attempts to predict the future characteristic of useful technological machine, procedures, and techniques. Researchers create technology forecasts based on past experience and current technological development. Technology forecasting can be helpful for both public and private organizations to make a smart decision. The last one is demand forecasting. It's a technique that is used for estimation of what can be demand for the upcoming product or service in the future. It is based upon the real-time analysis of demand, which was where in the past or for that particular product or service in the market present today.
Okay, so we got 3 types. Very simple one. The most common one that most companies will use is demand forecasting. Okay, predict sales. Then the rest would be economic and technological. Okay, so you already mentioned who is going to use economic forecasting. Government officials, okay, government agencies, banks, financial institutions, or business managers are more likely to use economic forecasts. Okay, they want to know inflation rate, purchasing power, things like that. Okay, technological forecast, most tech companies will have to use technology forecasts. Okay, we want to know how fast the rate of adoption of technology can be. Okay, how fast are people going to use electric cars? How fast are people going to use self-driving cars? Okay, so this is a forecast, because this forecast will lead to the development of your products, okay, or lead to your other planning. Okay, so very simple question. Move on to 4A.
So for the 4A is based on the case above, forecast the sales unit in Malaysia for year 2018 by using naive approach. So the sales unit of Mercedes-Benz car will be 12,000 245 units because we assume demand for 2018 will be the same as demand in the most recent period, which is 2017.
Okay, correct.
Which
So
is the first paragraph
yeah.
there.
Yeah, go ahead. B.
So B is referring to the case what will be the forecast sales unit for Singapore in year 2018 by using an exponential smoothing approach with a smoothing constant value of 0.2 and a forecasted sales unit of 5,527 in year 2017. So the formula will be last period forecast and end up with the last period actual demand minus last period forecast, and we get the value multiplied by the alpha. So the last period forecast will be 5,527 units. The alpha is smoothing constant, which is 0.2. The last period actual demand is from the paragraph is 6,227 units. So the forecast sales unit for Singapore in 2018 will be 5,667 units. So for the C is referring to the case what will be the forecasted sales unit in year 2018 for Indonesia by using a moving average model with average period of 3 sales unit of 2,987 in year 2015 and 3,140 in year 2016. So the formula will be total demand in previous year over a number of period divided by number of time period. So it's 2,987 plus with 3,140 and add with 3,386 divided by 3. So the forecasted sales unit in 2018 will be 3,171 units.
Okay. Okay, so the case a bit useless. We don't need the case. We just need the numbers. Okay, so naive approach is very simple, right? A naive approach just use exactly the demand from the previous period. 2017 is 12,045. So 2018 also the same. Exam come out, also got people do wrong this one. I also don't know what happened. Okay. Yeah, so it's very simple. Don't waste the marks. B, exponential smoothing, we need 3 types of values. Last period's forecast, last period's actual, and smoothing constant. Okay, so when you have all these 3, we can forecast the next period. Okay, so if you want to forecast 2018, we need 2017 forecast, 2017 actual, and your smoothing constant. Okay, so yeah, this is how you do it, and your answer would be 5, 6, 6, 7 lah. C, moving average, you also calculate don't know how many thousand times. Okay, moving average, take the 3, add up together, divide by 3. Okay, you just need to see AP equals to 1. Okay, 3171. Let's go on to question 5.
Question 5. Assume manufacturer has produced and sold in the past 3 weeks the amount of shoe as shown in the table below. Go on and test to forecast for the coming week to ensure there will be sufficient stock for each customer. However, he wished to identify the best approach in doing so. A. What is the forecast for sales in week 8? Using a moving average with AP equal to 3. The moving average is total demand in period previous period divided by the average period. So the forecast week 8 is 10,400 plus 10,000 plus 11,000 divided by 3. So it is 10,457 units. And the B, what is the forecast for sales in week 8 using a moving average with AP equal to 5? Then use the moving average function. Forecast week 8 equal to 10,900 plus 10,100 plus 10,400 plus 10,000 plus 11,000 divided by 5, so equal to 10,480 units. See what is the forecast for sales in week 8. This is a week moving average model with peak of 0.5 last year, 0.3 and 0.2 August. I use the week moving average as the total week for period demand in previous period divided by the MAD for week 5 to 7 using a moving average with AP equal to 3. In the forecast week 5, we get the 10,457 units. Forecast week 6, we get the 10,457 units. And forecast week 7, we get the 10,156 units. So in MAD, we use the actual minus forecast divided by the period. So we get the 1,363 divided by 3, so we get the answer 455.
Okay, question 5, very simple. The first two, AP equals to 3. Just take this 3 and divide by 3. And then AP equals to 5. We take this 5 and divide by 5. Okay, so very simple. C, we have weighted moving average. Also same, actually. Just take the last 3 and then give it a weight. Okay, so the company may think that the recent years is more important. So we give more weight. Then the older years, not so important, but still will have a bit of influence, then we give a smaller weight. Okay, so just times the weight and divide the weight, which is equals to 1. You will get your weighted moving average and MAD. Okay, what is the purpose of MAD? MAD, right? Mean absolute deviation is to tell us how accurate our forecasting model is. Okay, so we are using moving average with AP equals to 3. We want to see how accurate this forecasting method is. Okay, so we use moving average for week 5, week 6, week 7, and then we use the forecasted number to compare it with the actual number. Okay, the actual sales. So on average, using the formula, right? On average, every week, our forecast will be off by 456. Okay, plus minus lah. Okay, can be up, can be down. But on average, we know that it will be wrong by this amount. Okay, on average. So MAD is a method of checking your accuracy. Okay, so when you go on to week 8, week 9, week 10 next time, you keep this in mind. Okay, every time I forecast using this method, it's around plus minus 456. Okay, so at least you know, and then you won't follow it blindly. Now, in the exam, right, format is usually like that. Knife approach, moving average, weighted moving average, exponential smoothing, MAD. Okay, these 5 things usually is in this format. Every year, exam will come out once, at least. Out of 3 exams lah. Okay, 1 year got 3 times lah. Got 2 main and 1 receipt. So usually every year also will come out lah, at least 1 time. So this semester, I don't know. Okay, but just make sure you know how to calculate all these 5 things lah. Okay, number 6.
Question 6 below are the actual weekly booking from the day Beza was launched. A. What is the forecast for week 6 using a moving average model with an average period? which is equal to 3. So for week 6, we use week 5 figure, which is 5650 plus week 4 figure 4750 plus week 3 figure 4080 divided by 3, and we get 5067 units. Question B, using naive approach, what will be the forecast for week 6? It will be 5650 because under naive approach, the demand in the next period is same as the demand in the latest period, which is week 5. So question C, what is the forecast for week 6 using a wave moving average model with weeks 0.5 for newest, 0.3 and 0.2 for oldest? So for the week 6, we use 5650 times 0.5 plus 4750 times 0.3 plus 4018 times 0.2 and divided the 0.5 plus 0.3 plus 0.2, and we get the answer of 5210 units. Question D, using exponential smooth forecasting approach and an alpha value of 0.2, what is the exponential smooth forecast for week 6 whereby the forecast and actual data for week 2 are the same? So for week 3, we use the forecast of 5050 plus the alpha value 0.2 times the actual data of 5050 minus the forecast data 5050, and we get 5050 units. For week 4, we use 5050 plus 0.2 times 4800 minus 5050, and we get 5000 units. For the forecast of week 5, we use 5000 plus 0.2 times 4750 minus 5000, and we get 4950 units. For week 6, we use 4950 plus 0.2 times 5650 minus 4950 and get 5090 units.
Okay. Yeah. The first few is simple moving average, naive approach, weighted moving average, and this is something different. Okay, exponential smoothing, remember what you need. You need last period's forecast, you need last period's actual, and you need the alpha, alright? So the question asks for week 6 forecast. Week 6 forecast we need week 5 forecast, week 5 actual, and alpha. Okay, so the question didn't give us any figures on the forecast numbers, only gives us all the actual numbers only. Okay, so we cannot calculate anything except week 2. Okay, the question says forecast and actual data for week 2 are the same. Okay, so now we have week 2 forecast, week 2 actual, and the alpha. Okay, so when we have all the figures of week 2, we can only calculate forecast of week 3. Okay, so after that we have the forecast of week 3 already, we can calculate week 4 and then 5, and then finally only we can calculate week 6. Okay, so you must do step by step, you cannot straight away jump to week 6. Okay, now moving on. Question 7.
Hi, hello, testing. Alright, so I'm gonna present for question number 7. So first here, assume the actual demands from Proton X70 available in Malaysia as follows. So you have the 4 months and the actual units. sold. So for first one, you compute forecasted demand in January using average period of 3. So to get the future forecast, we basically sum up for the units from December until October, and then divide it by 3, and you'll get 3,904 units. And then for the second one, we have to compute the forecasted demand in January using the exponential smoothing constant of 0.2 with estimated sale for December 2020 at 1190 unit. So with this one, you take the estimated sale for December, and then with the constant, you multiply it with the difference from the actual sales on December with the estimated one. After that, you plus it, you'll get 1,530 units as the future forecast. And for the third one, it asks what is the forecasted demand, and using the weighted, so we have to use the weighted moving average with the 3 weights. So it says they use the working with 1 decimal point and everything. So we take each of the sales and assign a weight to them. So the newest one goes to December, and then 0.2, 0.2 you go for November and October. And if you total up the sum of the weights, you'll get 1. And after summing up the weightage and dividing it, you'll get 3,702 units.
Okay. Same things. Average period of 3. Take 3. Okay, divide by 3. Exponential smoothing. We got the actual numbers. We got the forecast numbers in the question. Then we can do. Okay, so 1530 is a forecast, and then the last one is weighted moving average. 0.5, 0.3, and 0.2 for October. Then you get your answer.
So I just want to know, is it mandatory to put the formula in the answer?
Yeah, better, safer.
Okay, better. Okay. All right.
So in the exam, yeah, you just put the formula inside just in case your answer is wrong. Okay, then at least you get some marks for the formula. Okay, we're done. All right, with these 2 tutorials. Next week, please prepare tutorial 7 and 8. Next week is week 7. Correct. Okay, so prepare these 2 tutorials for next week, and continue to do your assignments. Right, you all still got some time. So, other than that, I think that's all for today. If you all still got any coursework questions, then you all email me throughout the week. And remember to go to lecture, as usual. Okay, I guess that's it for today. Thank you for preparing the tutorial questions. Thank you for presenting. I will see you all next week. Welcome.